All right, breaking overnight for you all, Russia has launched major attacks on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, firing hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles. At least 17 people have been killed and dozens more injured in Moscow's latest strikes. The Kremlin's now vowing to continue ramping up pressure on Ukraine. Let's get you live to Kyiv now. We've got CBS News international reporter Aidan Stretch there. Good morning, Aidan. Help us understand how bad the damage is, where you are, and what everyone there is seeing this morning.
Well, Arrow, you can see some of the damage behind me. This was a 9-story apartment block that was completely leveled. Emergency workers have been here all day. They're digging through some of the apartments themselves right now and also clearing the way for emergency vehicles to come through. And then over here, you can also see residents nearby whose windows were shattered because of the blast. They've already lined up to get materials to patch up their own apartments. This right here was one of 20 residential buildings that was damaged in the attacks. Also hit was an ambulance station, a hotel, and a scientific institute in Russian strikes that included nearly 500 drones and 74 missiles.
One thing you've shown us over the past few months is that when these incoming attacks happen, people know where to flee to. They know how to hide if they can. From your sense, were people there prepared for this type of attack last night?
Well, Ukrainian officials had been warning about a major attack like this for several weeks now. Ukraine this summer has stepped up its own long-range strikes deep inside Russia, targeting places like Moscow and Crimea. And so over the last few days, President Zelensky encouraged us all to take shelter here in Ukraine's capital. And when I actually went down to the subway station last night to shelter myself, it was by far the most crowded that I have ever seen it, which, of course, does not take away from the damage that these attacks caused. But people at this point, more than 4 years into the war, know what to do when those air sirens go off at night.
And separately, Aidan, Ukraine has been conducting large-range attacks on Russian energy infrastructure. Any indication those strikes are taking a toll on the Kremlin's war effort? Is this perhaps a response to some of that?
What Ukrainian officials tell me is that they're really trying to do two things. The first is strike energy infrastructure across Russia to degrade Russia's war economy. So that's hitting oil refineries, processing centers, fuel tanks deep inside the country. But what they've also started doing now is hitting supply routes. They're hitting trucks, ferries, really anything carrying fuel to different parts of the country, which have led to fuel shortages across the country. In Crimea, actually, last week, they had to declare a state of emergency and cut off fuel sales to civilians entirely. And so here what we're seeing is that these attacks, which have continued for a number of years now, but have really been ratcheted up this summer, are now having that effect that Ukrainian officials have long wanted.
All right, Aidan Stretch in Kyiv for us, giving us a visceral, up-close look at devastation from the attacks overnight. Aidan, thank you very much.